Hey, welcome back to the Scenery Farm. This is me, and I'm just throwing the 5x5 birch up on the bench. Notice I don't try and lift the whole thing up onto the bench, and this is me just setting her up for a bit of a measuring there. I have on the arm of the dust collector, I have a magnet there, a little rare earth magnet, thumbtack dealio, and I have the plans just tacked there. And I'm just right now working through the layout, the cut pattern on the sheet. Um, Essentially, I'm double checking that I can get the most number of rips out of the plywood possible. And I'm just finding the center point between the two kind of ends of the offcut. The whole goal here is, the goal, like I said, was to get as many rips out of the piece of plywood as possible, and for the skirt, and also to use that edge that the first cut I make as the new edge of one of the rips, and that'll allow me to cut off the outside edge, which are the factory edges, which if you can avoid it, you try not to build with. Setting up ye old fence, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I find myself needing about 4 pairs of glasses now. Just plain safety glasses, the reading glasses, the distance glasses, and the middle range glasses. I'm getting a pair of transition glasses that have different prescriptions, and I'm looking forward to having a set of those that when I'm working in the shop, I can read the tape measure in front of me, I can read the tape measure on the fence, I can watch the fence as the wood goes up against it, and that's a new dealio for me. I don't have my splitter or anti-kickback on, as this is a thinner curved blade than that is. But of course I'm using the guard with the dust collect to keep the sawdust down, and just as it's a guard. But yeah, I'm going to have to look into getting a thinner riving knife for this setup, but it's an older saw, and the company that made it's out of business, so I'm not sure I'll be able to get one of those. One of these days I'll move on to the old saw stop, but for now I'm here. I'm gang cutting the sheets, so separately obviously, but this is me placing it for a cut. On the point, I lever it over, and again those points are getting cut off, and then I grab the kitty corner and I lay her right down. I slide her back and forward to get her on the saw up against the fence so I don't bang the fence, and then I'm able to get both of these rips done. And once I get these passed and off the saw, I will then move on to doing the rips using that freshly cut edge as the edge that goes up against the fence in all cases going forward, so I can get rid of that factory edge. I don't have to get rid of that last sheet. From here I can move right to setting up the fence for the width of the board. I set her up, and I think I'm ready to go. I kind of keep moving on, and I'm going to start being bored really soon. This is just a whole bunch of rip cuts, and then I rip them, stack them beside it, and when I'm done these rip cuts, then I'm going to move on to the cross cuts so I can get rid of the ends and get them cut to length. So I think you can tell what I'm doing here. It's just going to get really repetitive really soon, and there we go. Okay, I'm actually bored now. This is me just finishing up the rips, the birch, and I have a finishing blade on there, and does a pretty sweet job on that. And if you're not in the habit of changing your blades out in between types of cuts, I don't know, it's a pretty good habit. For every cut there's a different kind of blade. The old chop saw will have the wood all set up beside it, And again, I mean, this will get boring. There's one exciting bit, but this will get a little boring too. Essentially, I'm just cutting off the ends, and uh, I I actually leave the cut thinner than the width of the blade, because the factory edge was in pretty good shape. So there's no tiny little piece of wood to pick up there. If I had a message to tape measure manufacturers, it's don't round the bottom of the tape measure, leave it flat. So when you put it down, it won't roll over. But that's just, a mild thought, a mild request. If you could take that thought, that'd be cool. And again, I'm scoring the top of it, and then I push it through. And with a brand new blade, a brand new high quality blade, especially the ones that come with this saw, you typically don't have to do that. But this blade is, it's been around a bit. It's still in pretty good condition, but something like birch, it likes to splinter a bit. It's not as bad as Luan, but doing a little pull cut score along the top, and then pushing through for the rest of it keeps the piece in pretty good condition, and I don't have to worry about excess cleaning that I have to do. I can move right to the round over, and so you'd think when you're doing this kind of thing, it's all straightforward. You move through and you cut away, but I had a bit of a surprise as I moved on to my third piece. And I changed the camera angle because I thought, oh, I'm standing in front of it. And then after my third piece, I look at the angle on the blade, and I must have knocked it at some point. It was at about a degree and a half off 90, which, I mean, when you're building anything, that stinks. So I just kind of went, But one of the things, because there were two different lengths I was using, one of the habits I get into is I cut the long ones first. And that's, if you cut the long ones first, and let's say you make a mistake on them, you can then turn them into the short ones. It's pretty decent practice to cut the long pieces first for longer sticks, and then every offcut piece then may be usable depending on your lengths and stuff like that. You can end up with a very small waste at the end of a job, and this is the only two of them. What it allowed me to do was actually remeasure, recut, and I started onto the smaller pieces, and then I was able to reset the fence, and I kind of was like, oh, well, there you go. These are my new long pieces, and the other long pieces I cut, you can see I'm making a new pile there, and those ones, they're the future short pieces pile, and then I just worked my way through and I cut the rest of these up, and you'd never like to make a mistake like that, but sometimes you do, and the practice of cutting the longer pieces first helped me out in this instance. At any rate, I'm going to have more videos. I don't want to bore you. Just assume that I've cut all these pieces into their lengths, and yeah, see you next time.